It's 4th of July weekend, and that reminds me of a quote. And the quote is, "The desire of gold is not for gold. It is for the means of freedom and benefit." And what that means to me is that if you look at a fiat bill, it says Federal Reserve Note. And that means that at will, arbitrarily, the Fed can print more of those bills and then make the one that you own worth less. That used to not always be the case. If you look at the old bills, it says in gold coin payable to the bearer on demand on this one. And that means that there had to be some amount of gold available for the bill to be printed. And believe it or not, a lot of people still don't know that. Like, we've been off the gold standard since 1971, and there's people that if you ask them what is the dollar backed by, they will say gold, when in reality it's backed by nothing, and it hasn't been for over 50 years. But I think what is important here is that when you own gold, the gold that you own it doesn't have a third party counter risk like the Federal Reserve. This amount of gold, this is a 10-gram cube, and it would take a couple tons of ore to be crushed to get that cube, and even then that would be considered a pretty high grade mine at this point, because the gold gets harder and harder to find and harder and harder to produce. So gold is kind of governed by nature, and it's governed by humans in a sense. They can only mine so much, and it's a very kind of fixed rate a year that's produced, and it's a very low. It's much less than is printed by the Fed. So what I'm trying to say is the quote about freedom and gold is really important, because you can take a part of your freedom back and declare a partial independence from the fiat currency system by owning a little bit of gold. And I think one of the coolest ways to do that is by owning Mene jewelry, like that 24 karat gold pendant. So keep that in mind as we head into the 4th of July weekend, what freedom actually means.